I've got to admit something, these crispy semolina bites weren't supposed to happen. They're more of a happy accident. But before I tell you what went wrong, let me show you how I accidentally made one of my new favourite snacks. Start by adding semolina, salt and water to a heavy base saucepan. You'll need about 3 or 4 times as much water to semolina. Bring it up to the boil, then lower the heat and let it simmer away gently for about 15 to 20 minutes, stirring often. You just want to stop it from catching and burning on the bottom of the pan while you're cooking it on the hob for such a long time. If it starts to look too thick too soon, more like mashed potatoes than porridge, just add a splash of water to loosen it up. It should end up smooth, thick and glossy and almost like the texture of choux pastry. Once it's there, stir in plenty of freshly grated parmesan, a good crack of black pepper and check your seasoning. The parmesan adds a lot of salt to the mixture already, so make sure you taste it before you add any more salt. Then pour the mixture into a cling film lined tin, smooth it out and leave it to cool completely. Once it's at room temperature, pop it into the fridge for a few hours to firm up, or overnight if you can. The next day you can turn it out and remove the cling film. It should be nice and firm to the touch now, but still have a little bounce to it. Now you can cut it into any shape you want. I'm going to go with some thick cut fry style, but feel free to play around with any shape. Before frying, mix together a little blend of dry semolina and polenta. Then toss each piece of semolina into the dry mix. This light coating is going to help give them that extra crispy crust around the outside once fried. Deep fry them in hot oil at 180 degrees C until golden and crunchy on the outside. Once cooked, remove from the oil and while they're still hot, onto a plate and finish with hot honey, grated parmesan and fresh herbs. And then these bad boys are ready to go. Crispy, cheesy and soft in the middle, these are already incredible as they are, but we can take them up a notch or two. I'm going to level up these semolina bites with the addition of chorizo and herbs. Start by finely dicing your chorizo and then getting it into a hot pan. You don't need any oil as there's plenty of fat in the chorizo that will render out. Let it fry gently until it turns a deep red and starts to crisp up, releasing all that rich, smoky flavour into the pan. Once the chorizo is golden and the fat has rendered, add your finely diced shallots and cook them slowly in that same chorizo oil until they're soft, sweet and fragrant. Now for the herbs. I'm using a mix of basil, rosemary, thyme and parsley, but you can use whatever you've got. The rosemary and thyme add a robust earthiness to the dish, while the parsley and basil keep it fresh, lifting everything with their light aroma. Make the semolina base just like we did previously, then add parmesan and right at the end, stir the chorizo, shallots, herbs and a good crack of black pepper straight into your hot semolina base. Mix it all up until everything's evenly combined, then pour that mixture into a lined tin, smooth it out, leave it to cool completely and then into the fridge until firm. Once it's set, cut into whatever shape you like. I'm going to go with cubes this time, then just like before, toss them in a dry mix of semolina and polenta to give them that extra crispy coating. Deep fry at 180 degrees C until they're golden and crunchy, drain them well and while they're still hot, finish with more hot honey, parmesan and fresh herbs. The result? Crispy, cheesy, sweet, spicy, packed with flavour with little flecks of chorizo and herbs running through every delicious bite. So what went wrong? Because they look and taste amazing. Well, the truth is, I wasn't meant to be making semolina bites at all. In fact, I just grabbed the wrong bag from the cupboard because I was actually meant to be making polenta fry. And I didn't even realise until the next day when I was meant to be coating them in polenta. So I must have been completely away with the fairies. But honestly, I'm glad I did, because this mistake turned into something even better. And sometimes the best recipes aren't planned, they just happen. If you give these a go, let me know which version you prefer. And if you've ever made your own happy kitchen mistake, I want to hear about it. The full recipe and all my others are on my Patreon. And if you want a recipe that wasn't a mistake, check out this video next.